Hello, Fae Fam. Welcome to episode 4 of Fae Fam Talks. I'm GlamourFaerie, a content creator who has most of their content on twitch.tv here. I talk to content creators and I talk about their journeys through content creating and any of the other topics that they choose to talk about. This episode's guest topic is going to be about imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is such a great topic, like seriously.
Oh, I'm so
um
glad you think
I
so.
like it really is. Like I'm just so excited to talk about this because it's one of those topics that is like very like it needs to be talked about more and
Oh,
everybody goes
totally.
through it and I
hmm
feel like people need to like listen to everybody else's, you know, journeys through that because it's something that's very difficult to be going through.
hmm hmm
Um So today we have Jackie here, or as some of you know them as HappyGoGucky. Jackie raided me one day while I was playing, I believe I was playing Animal Crossing.
Oh, it was. I
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah. It was completely random because I don't think, I think I've seen your username before, but I hadn't like
hmm
seen you before. And um, I just like I fell in love with your content. I love going into your streams and hanging out. I just recently became a part of your Discord, and like I've been trying to cut back on Discords. It's so difficult because there's so many great people to be
hmm
like hanging out with, and I'm just like trying to find a happy medium. But like I love going in there and seeing all the
Oh,
things that everyone does.
thank you so much. Yeah, it's been great having you there, and I'm glad. I know Discord burnout is real. It's
Yeah,
real. But
right.
I'm glad that you have found a space that you like, for
Yeah,
sure.
I especially love the pit crew
Oh,
section.
yes, our
I
Pit Crew
love
Pog
it.
channel.
I
I'm
love
obsessed with
it.
Pit Crews.
They're so great. I love
Yeah.
them so much.
hmm
So would you like to introduce yourself a little bit?
Absolutely. Yes. Hello. My name is Jackie. You can also call me Gucky. I go by HappyGoGucky on Twitch and Twitter. You can find me there. And yeah, I am a variety streamer. I am queer. My space is very leftist queer space. Um, as you know, as so many Twitch streamers say, we do the cozy, we do the chaos, and we really heavy on the chaos. But I like to play all sorts of games. From Animal Crossing to Resident Evil. But I try to focus on creating community centered content. I always like to say that my chat or the game takes a backseat to my chat and not the other way around. I will always, pause the game or in the case of me playing Breath of the Wild, die to respond to chat. Um, but yeah, it's all about the community. It's all about it's for me, it's all about meeting people, having fun, chatting, having a space where, we can go to unwind and be comfortable and but also, we don't ignore the shittiness of the world and we have open and frank conversations and I'm very grateful to my amazing community that we've been able to build a space where we can hold both of those things and both of those things can happen. So
Yes.
yeah, it's a little bit about me.
Yeah. So like that's something that I've been working on for myself as well is being able to like talk more about things that are happening outside of Twitch because like a lot of times I hear
hmm
people wanting to just not talk about anything that's happening outside of Twitch and they're like, "Oh no, you can't do that." Like when COVID first hit, the first like 4 or 5 months I like refused to talk about anything. Like we banned the words COVID, we banned the word coronavirus, everything. Like it was a huge thing and I was like, we are not talking about it. Like I have to deal with that every day because I am a gas station clerk.
Mm.
So I see it every day and I hear about it. And so I was just like, we're not doing that. And then it hit me where I'm like, why are we not talking about this? Like, this is something that's huge. This is something that's happening. Like, why are we not talking about these situations that are happening? So I took that off. I took those banned words out, and now we're talking about things that happen to us day to day, things that are like, I'm talking about me yelling at people for not wearing their mask because they can't come into the store. I live in
Mm.
Washington, so it's like
hmm
full on, like still kind of a lockdowny sort of thing.
Mhm.
And it's just something that I've been more open with, talking about depression, because that's something the last 3 months I have been in a huge, just absolute slump. And I've been
Mhm.
more open with talking to my community about that.
Mhm. Yeah, I think it's important, because I think I heard this somewhere where, people don't want, actually I think my therapist told me this, speaking of mental illness. My therapist, I can't remember the context, but she was like, we don't want perfect people. We
No.
don't I don't want a perfect person. Like, like I don't want to I don't look up to people who I consider perfect. The people that I cherish the most are the people that are willing to be vulnerable and say like, "Hey, I am a imperfect human being having a very messy human experience." And then I see that and I see myself, right? And then I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, I want it. I want that." I want to be able to have that. So I think, you know, it takes a leap of faith though, doesn't it? Because
Mm-hmm.
like you're like, if I talk about my depression, are people just going to think I'm a downer? Like if I talk about this, if are people just going to think that I just want to be depressed all the time? But it's like, no, it's because we all experience the full range of human emotion. And um if you go to a place where we sort of like pretend that isn't happening, something feels off. And I think we
Mm-hmm.
sense that. I think we
Yeah.
sense that.
You're like, ooh, this person is just kind of like putting on a mask, which is another topic that I've talked about before here on the
Mm-hmm.
podcast, is putting on a mask. Like, I refuse to do that. And I'm like, I try to be me. I try to be genuinely me. Like, this is how I
Mm-hmm.
am. This is who I am. This is how I talk. This is how I vibe. And I try to stick to that thing because, like, I don't want to be all like, "Zoom, here, I am a person and I like to play games." Ding.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I'm not doing
Mm-hmm.
that.
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think that's great.
All right. So, like, steering away from that, but like,
Hmm.
what made you start streaming on Twitch?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this a little bit. I was, doing my little my podcast preparation in the shower, like
As one
this
does.
as one does. It's totally an aside. Like I'm that person that like I'm always pretending that I'm on a podcast. Like if I'm in the car, like I'm being interviewed about whatever. But I was like, oh, I actually am gonna get interviewed today. Like I gotta practice. This is my time to shine. My podcast in the shower time actually came through for me. But I actually I think the seed for me starting streaming had been planted a very long time ago, but around last May of
Mhm.
2020, I upgraded my computer situation. I bought a PC because I was editing stream highlights for a friend of mine who streamed.
Mm.
And and then, it sort of came about that like I had this whole setup and I was like, wait a minute, I want to stream. Like it just kind of like clicked. Like I had built this like setup back in May and like it took until like August for me to start streaming on my own. But
Mhm.
so I just, something just kind of clicked and I was like, wait, I actually have the setup now. This is something that I want to do. Like I can do it. I think it's one of those things where it's something that I had seen people do. Um, and always secretly wanted it, but weirdly suppressed it. I I,
Mhm.
I don't know if that was your experience
That's kind
at
of my
all. Maybe
experience
that's
too,
just
like suppressing something, because like
yeah,
I always wanted, like, when you're a kid you're always doing like stuff like doing your own cooking show, or like I always did like a mud pie sort of thing, where I always wanted to have, like, I was making a mud pie
yeah,
outside and I'm like telling them how to make the mud pie, and I'm like, that's kind of how I always were.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just kind of how I
yeah.
always
Mm-hmm.
did things, where I was with my sister and we would do things like that. We always wanted to be kind of like performers, but I also was that shy kid, so I didn't really want that attention, I guess. Like, I just didn't really always want that
Mm-hmm.
attention. And then I was like, maybe I could do games because I like playing games.
Yeah, totally. And I started streaming actually with a friend of
Mm.
mine. And we had a channel where we streamed together. And so that was back in July, and then I started streaming on my own around August.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the very first game that I streamed was Night in the Woods, which is a little
Oh,
indie game.
yes.
Um and and I just fell in love with it immediately. And um, I just really took a shine to it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I really everything sort of felt natural. I was like, okay, and it's been this way ever since, where like, I'm like, okay, I have a little bit of money, I'm gonna buy a better webcam. I have a little bit of money, I'm gonna buy an external hard drive. I have a little bit of money, like, and I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
started putting all this time, effort, and resources into learning how to use, well, first it was Streamlabs, and then I switched over to OBS. And so I've been
Mm-hmm.
watching, I was watching YouTube tutorials all the time. I taught myself how to make my overlays and my emotes, and I did that all in Canva. And every single step of the way has been a delight. Like, even researching what equipment I want to use for the upgrades, to learning how to use the programs to make my emotes and overlays, and figuring out audio stuff, like upgrading my microphone and figuring out how to balance audio levels, which I still struggle with to this day, and my community can tell you that. um, but it really just kind of snowballed in a way,
Mm-hmm.
like from when I started streaming on my own, because I had a fun time streaming when I was doing my channel with my friend. But I realized that, like, I really wanted to focus on doing my own content, because um I like having like the full creative control, but more importantly, I liked being able to not have to divide my attention between another person, a game, and the chat. And I
Yeah.
was like, from the get-go, I was like, okay, it's about the chat. It's about talking to the people that are here. And that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of been like the core of my content um ever since. And I've, you know, played a lot of different games, played a lot of Animal Crossing for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be an Animal Crossing. Like, there's nothing wrong with being an Animal Crossing
Right,
streamer,
but
but I
then
was like,
you're like solely only doing that, and then
right,
yeah.
yeah. And now I've actually been streaming Animal Crossing again, but it's so wild because, um, I'm sort of, I feel like the fear is gone. Like, if I stop playing this, because like I said, I've played games all
Mm-hmm.
across the playing field as far as genre goes. And
Yeah.
um I am very blessed to have a community that kind of like follows me, um and like supports me no matter what I do, which is like, I mean, that was like such a huge hurdle. um but and I and but I also wanted to mention that I think when I first started streaming, um I was like, I kind of automatically became part of this little community,
Mm-hmm.
because I met some friends,
Yeah.
um and and they happened to stream, and so there was this like little group. And so, like, I've always had this little group. And we all, like, there, my one friend in particular, her name is Amber. Her username is the_ams. I have to give her a quick little shout out, because she came to every single one of my streams when I was first starting out, back
Yes.
when I had my shitty internet, back when my audio was terrible. She was helping. I mean, like, and like, having those people that show up to your streams no matter what when you're first starting out is like everything. And I don't think I would be, that's why I wanted to mention it, because I don't think
Mm-hmm.
I'd be where I was if it weren't for her, and the people like her that like stuck with me. When I was streaming to one person, it was like her. So yeah, that's kind of, I guess, my origins, my Joker origin story.
I mean, I totally understand what you're saying, is having that one person that is always going to your streams, and having that person that's always there.
Yeah.
It's something that kind of keeps you going, is just like having that small community, especially like you said, you were starting, when you started off, you had that small group of a community that you started off with. It's something that, like, I didn't start off with a small community. I
Mm.
literally started from like the ground to,
Mm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
as I kept going, I started going into other people's chats. I literally just one day woke up, it was like, I'm gonna stream, and then I started. Like, I didn't do I didn't do the
Mm-hmm.
research for it, I didn't do anything, I had no background whatsoever, and I just like boom
Yeah.
went right for it, and that it's been a ride.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's yeah. It takes balls to just turn on your computer and
Hmm.
start streaming. It does. It
It
does
does.
because it's yeah, when especially um you just, like kind of jumping in. And I think that's I mean, I really think that's really brave. I think that's really admirable. And I think, you wanted to do it and you went ahead and did it. I love that.
I even stole my husband's laptop for over a
Nice.
year for it because
Uh-huh.
like I asked my husband, I was like, "Hey, I'm thinking about streaming on Twitch. What do you think?" And at this point I had been on Twitch for maybe 3 or 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked him, and he's like, "Well, I think you could do I think you could do okay at it. I mean, we can figure things out, but we only have my laptop because we both know your laptop's not going to do anything." And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, you're not wrong. So I
Mm-hmm.
took his, and I literally would not let him play on his computer for like an entire year. So,
Oh.
and he's been a trooper about the whole thing, and now we both
Mm-hmm.
have our own. Like, he's getting his PC on Wednesday and it's
Ooh,
brand new.
exciting.
I got mine like I think maybe 6 months ago or so. I got
Mm-hmm.
mine. So like now I have my own PC. I've got my own monitors. Like everything's like my own setup now, and it's like I said, it's been a ride.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Gamer crimes. Steal your
Yeah.
husband's laptop.
Just do it and it'll
Yes.
perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So you said that you were editing stream highlights for your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a YouTube channel or
Not yet, but I want to. I have been playing through Resident Evil, and I think that would be a really fun, like little series to put up. I have started capturing those VODs, and I plan to edit those and do it. But I currently only have Twitter.
Mhm.
Everyone's like, you got to make a TikTok. You got to make a TikTok. And I'm like, I don't know how to use TikTok. I don't want to do it. But I might, if I start like editing highlights and stuff more, that's, that's on the back burner. It's on, I know TikTok is where everybody is.
Mhm.
But yeah, a YouTube channel is definitely on the horizon, on the horizon.
Nice. I love it.
So,
I'm
but now
excited to
for
see
for
it.
now, I mostly just post stuff on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Twitter
Hmm.
is a lot is a great way to like get people to like come in and see your content because I've followed quite a few people on Twitter and that's how I followed them on Twitch.
Hmm.
And then TikTok is a whole nother level. I've been on
Yeah.
TikTok for the last since it started pretty much like a month after
Mm.
it started being TikTok from Musically. I've been on
Hmm.
TikTok, so like I've been through all of the trends. I've been like I see them all. I don't post regularly on TikTok, but I see it, and there's a lot of like TikTok is powerful. You post one thing on there and you could go viral within minutes. Like it's
Yeah.
absolutely nuts.
Crazy.
And
Crazy.
I'm like seeing some of these people while I'm scrolling, doing my nightly scroll of TikTok. It's my before bed routine.
Hmm.
And I'm seeing some of these Twitch streamers. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I kind of want to check that person out. I've since realized that some of the people that I've found are actually like in Twitch stream teams that I've been following for a while. So I had no
Oh, that's
idea.
amazing.
And I'm like, dang,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And I think, we can get to this later, but I think that that's like a perfect example of, like imposter syndrome with stuff like that. It's
Mm,
like you see somebody doing something and then for some reason you feel like because they've done it, you can't do it.
yeah.
That's like my hang
Right.
up, I think. I think, TikTok is confusing,
It is.
but I'm a smart cookie. I could figure it out. I
Mm-hmm.
know that's not the only reason why I don't want to start posting on TikTok. So we can get
Right.
to that. We can get to that. But yeah. Hmm.
No, I get you. I get
Yeah.
you. Okay, so we're gonna
Hmm.
switch on over to our gaming news part here.
Hmm.
So one of the things that has been announced recently was the Animal Crossing and Build-A-Bear like collaboration. Have you seen
Yeah.
that?
Mm-hmm. I
And when you
did.
go to the
Yes,
website, there's
yeah.
literally nothing. It's just Animal Crossing Build a Bear. That's all it says. It says coming soon. It
That's
has
all we
like no
need.
date,
That's all
nothing.
we need.
Pretty much. I think it's just gonna be like
Mm-hmm.
Isabel
Mm-hmm.
and Nook, and that's it.
I can dream that they're gonna have my little baby Dom, but yeah, I think you're probably right. It's probably
Yeah.
just gonna be the NPCs. But you know, that's okay.
Right.
But I can I there's a still I you know, I have a little light in my heart. I'm holding a candle for my baby Dom so that I can have a plushie so I can squish him IRL.
Yes. Have you seen some of them? Oh God, some of the things that people make on like Etsy and stuff. Have
Like
you seen?
plushies and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen
So
some of
people are
those.
like so there's so much cute Animal Crossing shit on Etsy. It's
There is.
amazing.
You can just like be
Hmm.
on there forever and just see all sorts of
Oh,
things.
totally. Animal Crossing wormhole. Yeah,
Oh my gosh,
totally.
I actually bought some stickers and a mug from Etsy because of it. And the mug has like
Yeah,
Celeste on it. It's the cutest thing ever. It's
it'll
probably one of
get you.
my best buys.
Totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
Etsy will suck you in
hmm
for sure.
Now with Animal
Hmm.
Crossing, there was also the Sanrio update is
Oh,
happening. I'm so
I'm
ready.
so excited. I
So
have it. I
ready.
literally have it marked on my calendar. I have Dom's birthday and the Sanrio,
I
the
love it.
Sanrio update. I am literally going to be Eric Andre. Let me in at the gates of Target on the morning of the 26th. Like, I need those amiibos.
Yes. I am going to be working,
Oh
but luckily my husband is like, okay, I'll be there. I'll be at
no.
Target. He's like ready to go into Target and buy me a couple of packs of them because I also want to give some to the community, like some of the
Oh
people that can't get
yes.
them and whatnot. So like I told him like
Yeah.
grab as many as they'll let you buy. Like if you can grab like 10 of them, grab 10 of them and then I will just give them out to people. Like it sounds terrible that I'm
That's
like
such a
getting
sweet
rid of
idea.
them for other people that are at Target to buy them, but like I have other people that I want to give them to,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as long as they'll let me anyway.
Mm-hmm. Is there a villager that you're excited about?
Honestly like all of them, but like
All of them?
Etoile,
It's
like she's so pretty, and
yes, I
I
know.
need her so
She's
bad.
so cute. I wish that she was Uchi, but it's okay.
I
Or
know.
Snooty. Because
hmm
I already have two normals.
I
I'm
know.
like so neurotic about it. I'm like, I can't have more than two of one personality type.
Same. I'm the same way. I have so many like I always go whenever I go villager hunting. I'm always looking at them and going, "Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Oh my gosh, I love their vibe. They're a normal, aren't they?" Because I always want the normals
Yeah.
and the
The
lazies. Like,
normals are so cute. Why did they make them all so cute? I want them all. I want them
right?
all.
And now they're not even called normals anymore. They're called like sweet or something like that, aren't
Oh,
they?
they'll be normals in my heart
I
forever.
know. They're always going to be normal. It's kind of the same thing with like Uchi. They're not Uchi. They're sisterly or something like that.
Sisterly.
It's just
Yeah.
they'll always be Uchi and they'll always be normal. Like it's just
Hmm.
always going to be a thing. Um. Now, is there one that you're specifically looking for, or not looking for,
Etoile.
but Etoile as well? Yeah,
Hmm.
for sure.
Oh, big time. Big time. I fell in love with her. The sheep, I have such a soft spot for the sheep. I'm
hmm
actually hoping to find Muffy. Um, I was going to do a villager hunt for her, but then I fucked up the time travel
That's
and
my
my plot
life.
autofilled. My plot autofilled with like one of my least favorite villagers, so that was a fail. But luckily I had an amiibo for Fuchsia. So I was able to scan her in and get rid of Moose, who is the devil, and I hate him. Um, but yeah, I might scan A12 in for future. I'm so torn, but what I am excited about is all of the furniture.
Oh
Like,
my
is
gosh, me
so
too.
cute,
Oh, I'm
so
so ready for
cute.
that furniture.
Hmm.
I'm ready for it. Like,
Oh yeah.
I already have the little like chips, the little fobs of the villagers from a
Mm.
couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
One of my viewers gave them to me. Ava did,
Oh, that's
and
sweet.
when they sent them to me, I was like, what are these? And I like looked at it and went, oh, I know exactly what these are. And so I got my new Leaf Town out and I started scanning them all in. And so now I'm really excited to be able to bring them in onto New Horizons and get all that furniture.
Totally. Yes. Yes, the furniture. Oh my gosh, feral. I am feral for it. Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I believe, okay, so the Story of Seasons game that comes out at the end of the month. Have you heard of the Story of Seasons game?
That's what Harvest Moon is called now, right?
Yes. So like technically there's
Yeah.
still Harvest Moon, but
Mm-hmm.
they took that name and now it's Story of Seasons for the people that originally came up with Harvest Moon.
Yeah, my community was actually telling me a little bit about that the other day, and I would love to play that game. I think, I mean, it sounds right up my alley. I love Animal Crossing. I love
Mhm.
Stardew Valley. So,
Mhm.
Harvest Moon I know was a big inspiration for Stardew Valley. So,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I am very down to try it.
Yeah, I've been waiting to see the trailer for it because I haven't looked at it yet just because I don't want to get myself like too hyped up for it cuz there's just too many games at this point. Like my list
Yes.
is way too long and I'm just
Oh,
going to
I
get stuck on
know.
it. Oh.
I know. I always buy games and then I never play them.
Mhm.
And yeah, the circle of life. I
Yep.
I buy games and I play Stardew Valley.
Same. I always go back to Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing. It's the two
Yeah,
games that I just keep going back to.
my
Like
touchstones. Yeah.
I love the games and I play them for like a half an hour to like 5 hours, and then once the 5 hour mark hits, then I'm like, I'm gonna go decorate on my island now.
Yeah, I can definitely like there have been some games that I've really sunk my teeth into, like Hades. Oh my God. I'm obsessed with Hades. Like I've been taking a little bit of a break from it, but I streamed Hades only for like a month and a half. And like I really love like open world, like
Mhm.
sandbox RPGs. Like I love the Fallout games.
Mhm.
Well, New Vegas and Fallout 3, not Fallout 4. But and I love like well, Breath of the Wild, of course.
Mhm.
Um so like there's definitely, and I can get into, I can sink my teeth into a platformer for a little while. Like I
Mhm.
love Celeste. I got the Super Mario 3D All-Stars pack a little while ago. But yeah, like I definitely always like come home to my comfort games for
Yep.
sure.
Yeah. I'm so bad at platformers. I'm really bad
Me
at
too.
them.
Me too. I'm bad at them too.
I just start
That's why I
raging
don't
at
play them
them.
that
Yeah.
often.
It's just like like it's one of those like you start playing it because you have that feeling you're like, "Oh, I really want to play that game again." And so you start playing it and then you're just like, "Okay, well, throwing the controller. I'm done."
Yeah. Yeah. Some of them I can, yeah, like Celeste. Celeste is like kind of an exception. Have you played that game?
I I played like 30 seconds of that game before I just was like, "I can't play this game."
Oh,
I'm
okay.
so
Well,
like
it's challenging.
mhm.
It's
I've
challenging, but
watched
that's
people
one of the,
play it.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's challenging, but I found it really compelling and I
Mhm.
kept wanting to come back to it and found myself being like, okay, even though it is really difficult, like the rush you get when you sort of figure out like what you need to do, and then because that's what happens so much in that game is you're like, I know what I need to do. I just need to fucking do it now. Um but yeah, but platformers absolutely make me want to break all my controllers for sure.
Yeah, I watch a couple of people play Celeste quite often, and when I'm
Hmm.
watching them, I'm like, this is so cool. I wish I could play this because I like this looks so cool to play it, but like
Hmm.
it's just much better to watch for me because I can't like focus enough for me
Hmm.
not to rage at the game.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
It
The
causes
struggle.
lots of focus, and most of the time, most of my game time is on stream, I have some time off of stream where I game, but most of my gaming time is usually on stream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that I would say that's about right for me too
Hmm.
these days.
Yeah, especially with like work, and then I literally like I work early in the morning. I start at like 5 a.m.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
it's
early.
and they're changing it too. I have to start at 4 a.m. like next week. I'm not ready for that.
Youch. Youch.
And then I
That's
come
early.
home and then I stream for like 3 to 4 hours, and then I just
Hmm.
yeah, I'm exhausted by the end of that. So I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm not doing anything
that's an
outside of
intense
it.
schedule that you've got.
It is.
Yeah, definitely.
One day I won't have to do that anymore, right? All right.
Yeah, just gotta manifest,
Pretty much.
manifest.
That's
Have
literally
a
all I'm
mindset of
doing.
abundance.
All right.
Yes.
So, imposter syndrome, your topic. Why did you
Hmm.
choose imposter syndrome?
Yeah. I thought a little bit about I knew I wanted to talk about something related to mental health because that's just like a topic that never gets old for me.
Hmm.
Um and uh and I was like, well, I sort of looked at the context of your podcast and I was like, well, for content creators, what's something that we all struggle with? And across the board, in whatever field that you're in, it doesn't have to be a creative field, but I think since we are in a creative field, I think it's really prevalent. Imposter syndrome, like everybody struggles with it. Um and I feel like we should just talk about it more because I
Hmm.
think that um, when we talk about stuff, when we normalize having these conversations about our internal struggles, they become less scary. They
Hmm.
become uh, more, it's easier to recognize when we are experiencing it. Um, and because I think it's always going to be a thing. And I think especially like if you are not a cis straight white man,
Hmm.
especially like
Yeah.
not that everyone can't experience imposter syndrome, but I think that there have been studies that show that um you know it's not the cis straight white men that are suffering it from it disproportionately. um and I think that is I think it's really interesting. It's something that I personally have struggled with, continue to struggle with, and I just find it endlessly fascinating to talk about it and to hear people's experiences with it. So that's a little bit why I chose it. I am fascinated by the way our out having public forums,
Hmm.
so to speak,
Hmm.
about subjects that we carry shame around
Yeah.
magically dissipates that shame, and I'm very very interested in furthering conversations like that.
Yeah, because then when you hear that other people have had the same situation happen to them, or the same like feeling, then you start feeling, oh, well, then my feelings are not invalid. They are completely valid, and I'm okay with
Hmm.
feeling this way because I'm not the only one.
Right. And so and I think that especially so there's a I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of self-compassion, if you've ever heard of that or if you know much about that.
I
um
I'm not sure.
yeah, it's really wonderful. I just didn't want to like mansplain
No, no,
if you
no, you're good.
if you
Go
were like, oh,
ahead. Go ahead.
I know. But it's this wonderful concept of being compassionate to yourself, but there's three parts to it. That's more, it goes beyond just like self-care
Mhm.
or like positive thinking.
Mhm.
um and one of the key components to it is to specifically compassion is understanding that we all suffer, that
Mhm.
everyone suffers. So, you know, yes, when you hear that other people are struggling, that are suffering with imposter syndrome, you're like, okay, like exactly like you said, my feelings are valid, their feelings are valid, and I'm not alone.
Mhm.
I think that's, it's not, it's there's that added dimension of I'm not alone that makes things feel so much less overwhelming,
Mm-hmm.
because when we feel isolated, like, because we're social species, when we feel that isolation, it can literally kill us. Like, there have been
Yeah.
studies that show that isolation, like people who live in isolation, like have more heart problems, like die earlier. Like, it's wild. Like, it's wild. So anything that lessens that feeling of isolation,
Mm-hmm.
it just does wonders. It does wonders.
For
And I
sure.
think yeah, so when it comes to imposter syndrome specifically, when you're talking about, you're trying to find your place
Mm-hmm.
in the, social hierarchy of your niche, of your field.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into it and you're feeling like you're isolated from your peers, you're gonna have a bad time, and a lot of us do. A
Yeah.
lot of us do. So yeah.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
Hmm.
We get like feeling isolated. It's kind of like, sorry, I'm like thinking about this like very deeply for some like it's like in there. Um I did that a lot at the beginning because, like I told you, I started from like the ground up. I didn't have a community, I didn't have anything, so I was doing this thing where I would look at other streamers and being like, oh yeah, they're doing great. They've got like consistent people coming in here. Like I'm coming in here consistently. Like, and I was just like getting myself into this like, I don't know, tissy fit, I guess. And I was just like, why am I not like this? Like, why am I not getting these people? And what do they have that I don't have? And then I realized that's what I should be doing. I should be looking at, like, what am I doing different? And how do I make myself different from them? Because I don't want to be like everybody else.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, um, one thing that does not alleviate imposter syndrome
Mm-hmm.
is comparison, right? Like,
Yeah.
that it never works. It never works.
No.
Like, when we compare ourselves and our accomplishments with those of someone else, in the words of my therapist, we're comparing our insides to someone else's outsides.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I love that. And I love that. And I carry it with me to this day, because, if you are looking at, and Twitch is very very purposefully pits us against each other.
It,
They do.
yeah, they do.
They do. The fact that you can see everyone's numbers, like
Mm-hmm.
when you see your friends are live and you can see how many people are viewing them,
Mm-hmm.
they do that. They purposefully do that.
Right.
It not to drive their numbers up, and also in for the viewers and for the other content creators.
Yeah.
And so, I think there's a lot of really insidious ways that Twitch preys on our tendencies to compare ourselves to other people and their metrics, um and to prey on our feelings of unworthiness.
Mm-hmm.
um for example, I was looking at my, like, achievements page or whatever the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't remember which one it was, but it was like, have, so many people watching at one time.
Oh,
And like,
yeah.
their little flavor text in it is, notice when there's a spike in viewership and try to replicate that magic. And I was like, fuck
Oh my
you.
God.
I hate that so much. It's
Oh
like,
God.
no.
You're like,
No,
no.
that is not a healthy way
Mm-mm.
to think about, because I think that I think that truly what imposter syndrome stems from
Mm-hmm.
is it, our innate feelings of worthiness or unworthiness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worthy to be in this position. I'm not worthy to apply for this job.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worthy. Like, when I get this job, they must have made a mistake, and I'm going to have to fake it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because we don't feel that our internal worth matches up to external expectations. And so when we have all these external expectations imposed upon us by this platform that's supporting us,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly, uh worth interrogating, I would say. Worth
Yeah.
interrogating that. And like, if you're looking, like I did, especially at the beginning, and I still have to be aware of it to this day. If I'm looking at my numbers and I'm like, well, my average viewership dropped by like 7 from yesterday. It's like, okay, I'm not looking at the big picture here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying that numbers don't mean anything. I'm just saying that they don't mean everything.
Right.
And they tell a part of a story. They
Mm-hmm.
tell a part of a story. And, you know, I think that if we are using those numbers as a gauge of our worthiness, we are never going to feel worthy. We're
Mm-hmm.
never going to feel worthy. It
Right.
has to come from someplace deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And um and I think compassion is a part of that. I think
For
self-compassion
sure.
and compassion for others is part of that.
Yeah. That's for sure. I definitely feel that because like I think I was talking to somebody else before. The like numbers are only a portion of what it is because like you do need to look at numbers. If you want to grow, you do have to look at your numbers, obviously. But I also look at my day like after I've been done with my stream and I look at my numbers and I go, oh, I lost a couple of average viewer numbers. I'll also look at the fact that I enjoyed my day. And if I enjoyed my day and I enjoyed my stream, then I don't really care about those numbers dropping off because I enjoyed myself. I didn't need those
Yes.
viewers. I didn't need those numbers.
I tell you, when I tell you that I have to check in with myself constantly,
Mm-hmm.
because that happened. I had a great stream a couple of weeks ago. I just had a blast. Chat was popping off. We
Mm-hmm.
were just I had a couple of really great raids. And when I looked at my analytics and saw that my average viewership was lower than it had been the past couple of days, my heart sank and I was like, oh, but what did I, and then I was like, no, 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 no,
You're like,
no,
no.
I can't be doing that. No, 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 no. That does not take away from the joy that I felt. Like the things that are intangible, the thing that, stuff like joy and passion and like that empathetic connection that can happen sometimes with your community. Like there's those special moments where you meet new people and you click and they get along right away with people in your chat. Like those types of things, numbers can't capture that.
Mm-mm.
Numbers can only capture so much. And when I found myself like, I was like, this is what they want. This is what Twitch wants. They don't want me to be happy with what I have. They want me to always be striving for some unobtainable. It's like they're little achievements. It's like reach an average of 15 viewers, reach an average of 30 viewers, reach an
Mm-hmm.
average of 100 viewers. It's like they
Yeah.
keep it's they there's
It's
always
always
gonna
up there. There's always
they're always
something.
gonna be dangling the carrot farther and farther away
Mm-hmm.
from you, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know like, God, no wonder so many of us feel like, I can't post my content on cross post my content on YouTube and TikTok. I
Mm-hmm.
can't, apply for this stream team. I can't, manage a Discord server. Like
Mm-hmm.
I think that so many of these things that trip us up, um, it's I think there's a lot of factors involved there, but I think Twitch analytics
Yeah. That's
is
that's
a
definitely a huge
is a
factor.
guilty party.
Oh yeah. And I think they know exactly what they're doing, obviously, because
Hmm.
like you said, there's always that carrot that they're dangling in front of you. They're always just like, you had the 15 average viewership. Oh, well, how about you keep going for that 30? And you're like, but maybe I just want to stay at 15, like there's that idea of like, I have Android Adventures in here. They are not an affiliate currently, and they've been streaming for a year because they have the capability of being an affiliate, but they've just chosen at this point to just not be an affiliate for a while. And they're planning on doing it at some point, but like it's just that idea of like having that community and being able to hang out with people and just playing the games that you want to play. It's just something that like you constantly have to remind yourself of is like, why are you streaming? You're streaming because you like doing
Hmm.
what you're doing.
Exactly, exactly. And I think, I don't know if you're familiar with Brene Brown, but I love her. And she was on Dax Shepard's podcast, Armchair Expert, which is an amazing episode. If you haven't listened to it, it quite literally changed my life for
Mhm.
many reasons. But
Mhm.
one of the things that they talked about is because I mean they're both famous,
Mhm.
wealthy, successful people,
Mhm.
and they were talking about how they did not feel content. I apologize if you can hear my dog barking.
It's
That's
all
Ginger.
good.
Ginger says hi.
Hi,
She's quite
Ginger.
loud. Um, but they were talking about how they did not feel at peace with what they had until they were able to come to complete acceptance in the present moment for
Mhm.
exactly what they had, and nothing more, nothing less. Like there's all the fame and money in the world literally cannot buy you happiness. And I think that has become such a cliche, like money can't buy you happiness, like fame
Mhm.
and money can't buy you happiness, whatever. But I think when you scale it down, right,
Mhm.
to an affiliate Twitch stream, right, which
Mhm.
is where we both are right now.
Mhm.
um what is our fame and money, right? It's like it's
Mhm.
numbers of subs, it's average viewership, it's number of followers, right?
Right.
And like I think that one of the things that we can like combat that we can use to combat that sense of I constantly need more, like like just more and more and more, which is something that I,
Mhm.
I struggle with, is gratitude and
Mhm.
humility.
Mhm.
It's like, remembering like when I was so grateful if two people came to my stream, you
Mhm.
know? And so I try not to ever take a single viewer for granted. And I
Right.
and I always thank my community at the end of my streams for
Mhm.
for spending their time with me,
Yes.
because it's it's a precious non-refundable commodity to
Yeah.
spend time with somebody. And I never ever ever, if I ever get to the point where I'm taking it for granted, I'm going to quit.
Mhm.
Because if I, it's your human hours, your
Mhm.
human earth hours that you can't get back.
Mhm.
And I found that being grateful for every single person that comes in, lurks, chats,
Mhm.
whatever it is, even if they just come in for a blip of a second on a raid, or whatever it is. It's
Right.
like we had a moment where we were sharing the same space, and thank you for
Mhm.
doing that. And that has like honestly been a game changer for me. Just like always, whenever I feel a little bit untethered, if I'm starting to play the comparison game or whatever,
Mhm.
um gratitude is a grounding force that never runs out. it
Mhm.
it will always be there. And there's an infinite supply, there's an infinite well of gratitude, within us, that we can always tap into. And so that's, it's been huge.
Mhm. It's always a good thing to um sorry, I just saw something. Um it's something huge to like kind of remember, that is to I always tell people that I'm appreciative of them for being in here, for coming into my stream, for being here, for lurking, for hanging out, because like you said, human hours, you only get 24 hours in a day, and you decided to choose to use part of the day to be here, like in my stream, and hang out with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And so feel worthy of people spending their time with us. And I think gratitude is a part of that. I think um connecting to others through like empathy is a
Mhm.
part of it. And like I mentioned, doing like self-compassion work
Yep.
is a part of it. I think what it comes down to is there's nothing external, excuse me, there's nothing external that is going to make you feel worthy. It all has to come from within because you know, going back to like the whole money and fame question, like I
Mm-hmm.
remember, you know, and how no amount of, you know, X, Y, or Z, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
can make you feel a certain way, at least not sustainably forever.
Mm-hmm.
A creator that I really admire, really look up to, who has a huge following, partnered, you know, all that jazz,
Mm-hmm.
was made a post on Twitter about how inadequate they had been feeling lately. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I would kill to have, you know, what you have. And then, you know, you stop and you're like, oh no, it makes perfect sense because we all go through that.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what your numbers look like, it does not matter.
Mm-hmm.
And so and it just it really helps to bring it down. It's like, what's the common denominator there? You know,
Mm-hmm.
why is it that no matter where you are, it's never good enough? You know, what is that? You know, and I think that like that's the question that I'm interested in, and and it's something that if I know that if I wasn't able to tap into that,
Mm-hmm.
that being a creator on this platform would be unbearably painful
Yeah.
because there's so many ways to look around and say I'm nothing,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
To beat yourself up
So
the entire time, yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
And I feel like I did that for so long of it for like the beginning of my stream because I'm almost at my 2 year mark here, and I did it for a good like chunk of this. Is that I was just like, oh, I'm growing, and then I'm like, okay, but like I'm not growing. Like I watched one of the this streamer, I watched this streamer, and they only streamed for 6 months and they already have like 2K followers, and here I am sitting at 500. I mean, now I'm more than that, but like that's where I was at the time, and I'm like, I've been streaming for a year and I'm only at the 500 mark. Like that sucks. And but like I made sure that I looked at a different point of view once I realized where I was at, that
Mhm.
I can't look at, oh, I just have 500. I have 500. Like that is like an amazing goal to get to. Like there's 500 people that came into my stream, looked at me, heard what I was talking about, saw that I was playing a game, saw that I sucked at playing the game, and was like, I'm going to push that little follow button. Like, how cool is
Yep.
that?
Yeah. Exactly. And like when you think about it that way, you know, it just starts to it there's like a relief there,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's like a relief. And I remember I did the same thing. Like I was like I was and this, you know, Twitter, I think they call it the rage economy.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is what Twitter functions on. I think was it Devin that was telling me I think one of my community members was telling me about it. But basically, Twitter's algorithm to hook people into continuously scrolling is to make you feel bad. It's
Mm-hmm.
to make you feel bad. The worse that you
Mm-hmm.
feel, the longer you spend on the app, right? So that's something to keep in mind. But I saw a you know a recommended tweet, someone that I did not follow, like either someone I followed liked them or Twitter just recommended them to me because they're in the you know I'm in the streamer sphere.
Mm-hmm.
They hit partner in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm a fucking failure because I didn't get to partner in 6 months. And like, you know, they're like at, you know, 2.5K or
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. And, you know, and I was like, that was, like I said, there's an infinite amount of ways for, you know, because there's probably someone who hit partner in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's
Mm-hmm.
probably like and all the people, you know, and then I look at you know, people who apply for partner and get rejected. You know, like imagine getting Twitch partner, which is something that would I mean be incredible. It would be
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, necessarily like the end goal for
Right.
me.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be an amazing accomplishment. And I think that the people who make partner, I'm you know, I think it's like I said, it's a great accomplishment. But
For
like
sure. For sure.
I can only imagine that if I if I applied to partner and got rejected like 3 times, I'd be like, well, yeah, I got partner, but somebody else didn't get rejected 3 times. Somebody else didn't even get rejected once. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
turtles all the way down. It's
yeah.
turtles all the way down. Like no matter where you are, you can always be like, well, the grass is greener over there, you
Yeah.
know? And it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter because and you know, and I'm you know, you can just rest assured.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, like going back to the we are not alone, we are all suffering together thing.
Yep.
We can rest assured
Mm-hmm.
and be relieved at the fact that knowing that no one is immune from this kind of thinking,
Nope.
you
No one
know,
is immune to
no
it.
matter how much success they
Mm-hmm.
appear to have
Mm-hmm.
to you on the
Mm-hmm.
outside.
Even if they're just, rolling with the big boys, getting all those numbers, getting all of it, they still can feel the same way that we are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Totally. And I think that like who profits from that? Amazon.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
know. Can we
You
talk
know?
about the fact that because it's something that I didn't really think about when I first started streaming, but it kind of has to go with this. But Twitch takes 50% of our revenue, the stuff that we
Mm-hmm.
get in. When somebody
Mm-hmm.
subscribes to us, we get 50% of it. And I
Mm-hmm.
never really thought about it until more recently, where I'm like, huh, they're taking 50% of what I'm making. And
Mm-hmm.
then it does change when you become partner, but it only changes in the tier 2 and the tier 3 subs. Like you get more for those. And then there's also like
Mm-hmm.
contracts and stuff, but like you have to be like big time, like corp subs husband or something, like you have to be
Mm-hmm.
really up
Yeah.
in there and getting those huge numbers in and everything.
Yeah.
But like we shouldn't be getting only 50%. We should be getting more because we're the ones that are doing all the content. We're the ones that are making all of the things and feeling this garbage way sometimes.
Yeah. I've thought about that a lot. I've
Mm-hmm.
thought about that a lot, and I think um I'm really interested to see because I've been seeing more conversations surrounding this happen and I'm really curious to see what what's going to come of that.
Mm-hmm.
Are these where are these conversations going to lead to? Like are
Mm-hmm.
people going to um you know upload their emotes to like what is it, FFZ? I think that you can upload your
Yeah.
custom emotes
Or
and move towards like Kofi, is it Ko-fi, Coffee, Kofi? I
oh
never know
yeah,
how
yeah,
to say
yeah.
that. Or
Coffee I think is.
or Patreon,
Mm-hmm.
or PayPal or whatever. I mean, PayPal takes a healthy chunk out of your revenue too. Um like I'm really curious to see that. Like, Ginger has a lot of opinions about this too. I don't know if you can hear her.
It's a
Anyways,
mood though. It's literally a mood.
anyways, anyways, back to how our wages are being stolen from us.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, I feel like there's a storm brewing,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
I'm
think so
yeah.
too.
Hmm. So it'll be very interesting. Maybe there'll be a strike or something. I don't know. Who
Maybe.
knows?
I guess we'll have to find out.
We'll have to find out. I
We'll
would
see.
be very interested to see. Very
Yeah.
interested to see indeed.
I'm curious to see if um like even my own opinion, like I don't even know where I'm gonna be, what I'm doing, what my plan is for any of it.
Hmm.
So
I know, me neither. Me neither. I'm sort of observing right now.
yeah, that's
Observing, watching and
I think we're
listening.
both at the same spot where we're just kind of like, where's this at? Like,
Hmm.
I mean, like how like there's some people on this app or this platform, there we go, that are doing this to have a living,
Hmm.
and I've considered it, but there's no proper way for me to know that I will be able to sustain having that. And numbers, like we were saying, they always are going up and down, they're always changing, you never know where you're going to be at. So like having this as a full-time job is just not realistic for me
It's
currently.
risky.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, it can be for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to be able to support myself doing this. And,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very extremely fortunate that right now I am in a position where I'm living with family, and I
Mm-hmm.
was streaming was my only source of income for like the past 5 months,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm extremely fortunate that I was able to make enough to like pay my bills here and there. I mean, it would have been a different story if I had to
Mm-hmm.
pay rent and stuff. But I mean, just that alone, like, again, coming like circling back to like gratitude, like
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's room for both. Again, like, we can have both.
Mm-hmm.
We can look at how much Twitch is taking out of our pay, and we can also be grateful for the community members who come and support. Like, both of those things can be true.
Oh
Both of
yeah,
those things can be
for
true.
sure, for sure.
So yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. So, we can go into the Q&A section of this.
Oh, lovely. Oh, let
Um,
me pull chat up
Now
now.
here's the thing. Let me see. Let me double check. But on my end, I don't have any questions in my queue here.
Ask some questions, people.
Y'all, we've got I think we've got 10 is what I have for
Get
this.
them in.
10
There's only
questions.
10.
There's only 10. I'm going to adjust my lighting real quick.
I'm yelling at you. Oh, I can see chat now. How was my day? Oh, I think you have to redeem channel points to ask me how my day was, Rob. I'm sorry, I can't answer that for free.
Can't answer that for free. Yeah, there's a key. So, in the channel points there is a 10-point channel redemption, where you go ahead and can ask questions as you would like.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
All right,
There we
so I'm
go.
gonna go in order. Let's see here. We've got for Andrew says, can we talk more about the 50-50 pay cut Twitch does and how it should be the streamer gets more? Yeah, that's what we were kind of talking about.
Yeah. Hey Twitch, pay us more.
Please,
Pay us more,
like let's
or
let's let's
else.
go. Yeah, I love how you're like, or else, and I'm just like, please, like, can we like get this going? Like, this doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it doesn't make sense. And like, let's keep the conversation going. Let's not
mhm,
let it die. Let's,
mm-mm,
I don't know if Andrew, if you're a streamer, but like, let's talk about it. Let's
mhm,
talk about it. Let's keep the, like, let's,
mhm.
talk, post about it on Twitter. Talk to your friends, like, make a Discord chat, like, let's be the revolution we want to see in the world.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, Partner streamers get more for tier 2 and tier 3 subs. I looked into this because I was very curious about it. Um, Tier 1 is still the 50-50. Tier 2 is like, I think it's 60-40, and then tier 3 is 70-30. And a tier 3 sub is $25, and I've had one tier 3 subscriber, and
Mm-hmm.
it happened for like 3 months in a row, and I'm pretty confident the first month was them, doing it because they wanted to. The other 2 months,
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty confident it was just because they kept forgetting to take it out of their resub
Mm-hmm.
reoccurring thing. But the thing is that it shouldn't be that way. It should be like, it shouldn't be 50-50 just for a tier 1 sub. I mean, like, it's
Yeah.
$5. Come on, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I did the math for myself. If my husband and I had talked about it, if I was to do this by myself and just do Twitch, and then him with his job, he said that if I could pay for rent with my Twitch payout, then I could quit my job. Now,
Mm-hmm.
to do that, if I was doing it solely based on subscriptions, it would be like, I think I said it was like 500 subscriptions.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen that number on my end ever, and I'm not planning on seeing that number for a very, very long time. So
Mm.
like,
Mm.
I don't see that happening. But if Twitch was to change it how it should be, I could potentially see that a little bit sooner.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so next question was from Uwu Rob. Fine. How was your day?
Yeah, I am not ignoring this question, Rob. I just want you, I am counting your question as part of the queue. I've had a great day. Thank you so much. I took a shower because I was stinky and now I'm not stinky anymore. And yesterday I went on a shopping spree at Target and I bought a thing to like organize my laundry. So I that just made me feel really energized. I had a really good coffee. I had a delicious lunch. I watched an episode of
Yes.
Adventure Time, and now I'm here. I had a great day. Thank you so much for your
Yes.
question.
I love it. I love it. I love going to Target and getting things to make myself organized.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that is just so good. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I had a
That's
burp.
okay. Happens.
Um, Battling Strawberry asks, how do you balance the wish to grow while also taking care of yourself?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. That's such a good question. Um, I think that wanting to have success and wanting to grow is not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. But I think that it's really important. One of the things that really helps, I guess, to kind of answer your question in a nutshell, is that understanding that growth is not linear
Mm-hmm.
for everybody.
Mm-mm.
Some people, they shoot up, right? They have exponential growth and they shoot up and it's crazy and everything seems, like that one streamer that I was talking about that made partner in 6 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of us, it looks more like this.
Oh yeah.
And if you can look, like zoom out and look at a bigger picture,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see growth more consistently in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but honestly, like I think it has to, you got to do some soul searching and really be like, why am I doing this? Am I doing it
Mm-hmm.
just for a certain number of follows or subscribers, or am I doing it because I feel like I have something really valuable that I want to contribute, and my desire to contribute that is greater than my desire to see a certain number.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's what's helped me.
Mm-hmm. For me, it would be um honestly, it's pretty damn close to what you just said. I literally like stop and I remind myself why I'm streaming because like I said, the last 3 months I've been in a very bad like slump where I just was like everything really just kind of sucked, and I kept
Mm-hmm.
working through it. And I did take, I think I took like 2 extra days off from streaming, and that was when I was doing 5 days of streaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a couple of days off so I could, get myself together at home because home life I needed to fix up. But finding that balance of doing what you want to do with streaming as well as home life, you have to find that balance.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
Great question.
it was a great question. Battling Strawberry also asked, how do you keep motivated and happy making content if your numbers have such a large variance?
Yeah, that's another great question. I think that what's helped me honestly is only focusing on the people that are there and
Mm-hmm.
not the people that aren't there.
Mm-hmm.
um if you're because and not thinking like I think it really helps instead of thinking about numbers, thinking about instead of like saying I had 20 viewers, 20 people, 20 people, you know
Mm-hmm.
20 human beings, or 10 or
Mm-hmm.
5 or
Mm-hmm.
3 or 1, one person, one human being decided to come and hang out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's and just cherishing your time with those people
Mm-hmm.
and nurturing and building that community with the people that show up. And there's I think that strictly in terms of thinking about your variance and numbers, it take the filter off. It's not just numbers, it's people.
Mm-hmm.
It's people.
It
And
is.
people and honestly, something that's helped me, and this might sound a little harsh and I don't mean it to sound harsh, but I it was a little tough love for myself. if other people decide to watch my stream or not watch my stream, none of my business. Why
True.
people decide to not come to my stream is none of my business. They could be going through a crisis. They could hate me. It's none of my business. And that helps too.
That it does, because like that's something you really do have to look at, because like I didn't I really,
Mm-hmm.
really I've done that before where I'm like, why aren't people watching me? Like, why are they watching this person
Mm-hmm.
but not watching me? And I like
Mm-hmm.
I literally thought that, and I was just like, it's none of my business. I don't need to know why they're not watching me, why they are watching me. What who the hell, like, why? Why do I feel the need
Mm-hmm.
to think that?
Mm-hmm. Totally. Another great question.
Mhm.
Adeline Strawberry. Thank you so much for those great questions.
All right. So Vivi Bambi asks, off topic, where do you get your art pieces from?
Oh my gosh. I'm so happy. A lot of this stuff I cut out of books and magazines that I get at thrift stores. So like a lot of the flower pieces. This is a
Hmm.
greeting card that my mom gave me. I found this at a thrift store. This is a Sonic Youth album cover. This is a poster I pulled out of a literary magazine. This is a poster my friend bought for me. I bought this at a rummage sale. This is Carly Rae Jepsen, my queen. All over the place. This is a bandana that I got from I ordered underwear from a parade one time, and they
Yes.
like that was like $5. So I was like, give me it. All over the place.
I love it.
Mostly, I would say the majority of what's on my walls is stuff that I've cut out from magazines or books from thrift stores.
I love it. There's always something new to look
I could
at.
literally go through and tell you every single piece, but I won't. I won't.
I love it. It's so funny because like it reminds me of so I try to explain this to my mom. My
Mhm.
mom loves stuff and things. Like we always say
Your mom and
this,
I have that in common.
and I've described as when you go into my parents' house, and I never realized this because this is where I grew up. When you go
Hmm.
into my parents' house, you always find something new.
Mm. Hmm.
I'm still finding things, and I lived there for 20 years. Like I'm always finding something new, where you go into their house um and there's some sort of antique thing that they found, or some antique
Yeah.
thing that was from my great grandma, and my mom's like, "Oh yeah, that was at your grandma's." I'm like, "Oh cool." And like she just she always comes home with new stuff. Like she's got boxes of these like um oh gosh, it was like these crystals that you can put for like a chandelier. She bought
Mm.
them for like $60, and she's just putting them all together and crafting this whole thing. But your background is kind of like that for me, where I'm always like, oh look, there's something new. I didn't recognize that the last time. Oh look, there's something
Hmm.
else new. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things.
Thank you. I've been slowly cultivating it, like a mold or something. It just keeps growing. It just keeps growing.
I love it. Oso says, how was 2020 to 2021 influenced your confidence, with the pandemic worm?
Oh God, that's another great question. Uh, well, mental illness plays a role
Truth.
in that confidence. I think that like how has it impacted your confidence? That's a really interesting question. And I think that um surprisingly, I think it has given me more confidence in some ways
Mm-hmm.
because I kind of have this backdrop of I'm at home anyways, so
Mm-hmm.
I might as well be live streaming my inner monologue to strangers on the internet. And and I think that it is really I've actually gained so much confidence from doing this streaming thing. Ginger agrees. Um because I feel like I've finally sort of like hit my stride,
Mm-hmm.
and like that I found something where I'm like every single part of it, every single piece of it, I'm like bananas over the moon for it. Like I love
Yeah.
every single part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, it's a totally different trajectory than I thought that I would be on. And I think honestly, like leaning into it has increased my confidence, even though like I have my low points. I'm sure many of us do because, you know, being in this panini press of ours,
Mm-hmm.
there are some days where I can barely get out of bed, and the only thing I can do is get out of bed and take a shower. But you know, I have really good days too, and yeah, I feel really really blessed, and I think that it's, you know, been a confirmation that you, like, when you find the thing that you love to do,
Mm-hmm.
you'll know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. With the for me, when I when the panini started, you know, with Animal Crossing, it that came out pretty much the same week the lockdown started, and it was just a I knew that I was going to get more people in my stream because of it, because Animal Crossing was going to be huge, and I knew that I was going to get more people in there. So my numbers like skyrocketed, and I was just like, I didn't think that they were going, like, I was like, well, there's a
Mm.
possibility that they will, but they actually did. And I was like, this is so cool. But then it started to plateau, and then it dropped, and then came back up again,
Mm.
and then it dropped again, and I was just like, so my confidence has been like all over the roof, like everywhere, because at
Mm.
first with it
Mhm.
I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm one of the people that has to be out there constantly, and not have to you know, I don't get to stay home and hang out with everybody like I want to, but um I think in the last, like I said, in the last like 6 months, I've really like thought about it, and my confidence in the last 6 months has gotten so much better.
Mm.
Even with the last 3 months, with my depression being so low where it was,
Yeah.
and even with that, I still had the confidence to still keep streaming and still be able to like hang out with people, because I think it's just like my community. I was just really happy to get in front of the camera and hang out with the people that were going to be in chat and still be able to play my game, because I loved playing whatever I was playing and hanging out with my community. I just like it
Yeah.
kept going for that.
I love that. I love that. And like again, like I just think it's so, I think it's so great when we can just be open. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like cuz as Miley Cyrus once said, everybody has those days.
Yes.
Everybody makes mistakes. But no, but like depression, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's talk about depression. Let's talk about how that's part of our story and how our and part
Mm-hmm.
of our journey. We don't exist as a vacuum as people, and
Mm-mm.
you know, I think that's wonderful that you choose to, that you talk about it and that you're open about it. I think that's really really admirable, and
Mm-hmm.
I really really admire that. Yeah.
It's it's been, I know I keep saying this is like the fourth time I've said it, but it's literally been a ride, because like
It's actually the fifth. I've been keeping track. No, I'm just
thanks,
kidding.
thanks.
I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
um so like 6 months ago, my work had a different had change in management.
Uh-huh.
And it was planned because my manager at the time, she had gotten pregnant, and she was literally like, she decided that she was like, okay, today's my last day, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I went ahead and shaved my head.
Mm,
And
mhm.
I literally told everybody when I did it, I was like, I'm fine, I'm fine. And I was not fine, but I was convincing myself that I was fine, because
Mhm.
I was saying like, you know, I'm, you know, just because I shaved my head doesn't mean that I'm like severely depressed or anything. And I, at the time, I was kind of in denial of the fact that it was a thing, that I was actually depressed, and I was
Mhm.
I was there for, I think, 3 weeks. I wrote it down somewhere, but it was like 3 weeks where I was just like, oh, I actually am. And then I came back from it, and then, you know, came comes knocking.
Mhm. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so Froggy Oggy says, how do you feel about the lack of nuance on social media platforms?
Ooh. Augie coming in hot. I think that and we've talked a lot about this on my streams too, but I think that the lack of nuance on social media platforms is truly a shame. And I think you know, at its best, it's annoying. At its worst, it's a violence.
Mm-hmm.
And, because things can get um oversimplified to the point where like it's just flat out like a fabrication, a misinformation. um and people can react to that with it's easier to react to a one-dimensional argument with vitriol than it is to react to something with nuance. And so I think, have you seen that video of like this little app of these two little monsters yelling at each other because they can like
Yes.
repeat what they say? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? That's what Twitter is.
Oh
It's
my
like
God.
someone takes an argument that maybe has a little bit of nuance, and then it gets simplified and it gets simplified, and then it's just noise. It's
Mm-hmm.
just noise. And like
Mm-hmm.
I think that it is possible to have conversations on social media, but
Mm-hmm.
I think nothing beats a good old sitting down with one-on-one with somebody
Mm-hmm.
and having it out, and
Mm-hmm.
and coming to it with a willingness to be wrong, like humility.
Mm-hmm.
I think that nothing beats it.
Yeah. I love I like that you said the one-on-one where, like with humility. I I tell people that I love having conversations with other people because like I like to hear their side of the story. I'm a Libra. I like to know both sides of the story. I can't make decisions for
Mm-hmm.
myself. It's just a thing. So like I'm always looking at both sides of the story. I want to hear what they say, but I also want to hear what the other person says. So like I mean, obviously I'm going to make my decision where it is, but like I still am going to be okay with hearing both sides of the story or whatever
Mm-hmm.
situation that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Good question, Augie. Thank you.
Midge says, "What is one of both of y'all's absolute favorite moments from any single stream?"
Ooh. Do you want to go first? I can't. I need a little at a time.
I,
I need to rack my brain.
I mean, I don't know. Like, okay, one of my favorite moments had to be when I did a charity stream last year for Lifeline,
Mm-hmm.
and we raised $420.69. And I was so proud that I was like, somebody clip this. I need to show my mom because my mom's
Wow.
a pothead, and so like anytime like something comes around with 420, we're always like,
Mm-hmm.
my mom literally has an alarm at 419 so that, and it says, where is your bong?
Incredible.
So like every time we hear her phone go off, we're like, oh, it's 419. So when I hit that 42069, I was just like, somebody please clip this, and I like zoomed in, I pointed at the number, I was like, we made it.
Somebody show my mom.
I need to show my mom.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Hmm.
That's so cool. Um, I think, let's see. Um, there's so many. There's so many good moments. I think that probably this is like I think okay. So during one of my streams, I honestly can't remember. I was getting emotional. I get emotional on stream a lot.
Hmm.
And and I was like, you guys are gonna make me cry. And then I think it was one of my mods, I think it was either Midge or Kiki, just typed cry, period. And then everyone started spamming that. And that became such an instantly iconic moment. We're just like cry, cry, cry.
Just do
And
it.
it was a mix of it was like a Sour Patch Kid. First she's sour, then she's sweet, and then she's sour again, and then she's sweet again. And that's my community in a nutshell.
I
Like we have,
love it.
we have these moments of like true, genuine emotion and connection, and then just absolute meme fuckery. And I love it. And I think that's just very emblematic of of my very special, amazing community that I love very, very much.
I love that. That
Eat the
actually,
Taco Bell. Eat the Taco Bell. Oh
that's
my God.
funny.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
That made me think of my 1 year my 1 year Twitch anniversary. Uh, I was getting emotional because it's like I was so like emotional over the fact that I had been doing this for a year, and
Mm-hmm.
when I was doing that, I started crying, and when I started getting to that point, like all of my mods started sending me selfies of them crying in my mod chat, and I was
Oh
like, "What are
my
you guys
God.
doing?" And so
Oh
then
my God.
I was like, "If you guys don't stop, I'm gonna start showing them on stream."
Yeah. Oh
It
man.
was so great though. That just made me think of that. Oh gosh.
Oh, I have one more if I
Oh yeah,
can.
yeah, go for it.
It's really quick. Someone came in and posted an Ahigo ASCII and then we deleted it and then they said, "Why did you delete it?" Which was maybe one of the funniest things that's ever happened on my stream,
Oh
which was
my,
just the other day. So, anyways, I just wanted to
oh my god.
I had to shout that out. Why did you delete it?
Oh my god.
So, anyways,
Oh jeez.
we can move on now.
That was perfect though. That's a
Yeah,
solid one though.
very, very good. Very, very good.
Lucky Bear asks what channels inspire you or helped you wow. I can read words. Elevate your content. There we go. I was trying to say alleviate for some reason.
Yeah. Alleviate your content. It's gone. It's
Yeah.
gone. Hi Lucky. It's very good to see you. Um what channels inspire you or helped you elevate your content? I'm going to call back to the beginning of our discussion
Mhm.
where I was talking about how I was so lucky to begin with this little group of creators. It's so random. So I met Amber through my friend Lucas, who I met through my friend um, David, who I met through Tinder. When I first moved to California, I matched with this random guy, and that set off like a chain of events where I don't know if I would be streaming if that didn't happen. It was just like a butterfly effect. Certainly, we didn't end up dating or anything, but it was like the best Tinder interaction ever. So I ended up meeting my friend Amber. She streamed, her partner streams, her sister stream, and some of their friends. And so it's like this group of people that I know. The AMs, the underscore AMs, might be Maggie, Abby Giggles, and Groovy Plant Dad, and Casual Philistine, like that group of streamers. I mean, when I tell you that we were always at each other's streams, always, I mean, and we all have grown together. We
I
have
love
all
that.
elevated each other.
Mhm.
And when every single like when one of us succeeds, like we all succeed. It's
Mhm.
amazing. Like this little group, this little community has grown, and we're all kind of like in our own little like sub communities now. We all have like different streamer groups that we kind of hang out with more, but like that little core group being so welcoming to me when I first started streaming, Lucky, like when I tell you that worth its weight in fucking platinum,
Mhm.
like just so valuable to me. And like I love those streamers with all my heart. And like, you know, we it's like I wouldn't be anywhere without them.
Mhm.
I mean, and I don't want to say that, but it's like, like it would be a very different story. I would be in a because I've met so many amazing people
Mhm.
through that core group of people. So it's just, I mean, it's just like this, you know, we all rise together.
Mhm.
And that those channels, the AMs, the underscore AMs, might be Maggie, Groovy Plant Dad, um, Abby Giggles, Casual Philistine, like just yeah, I love those folks to death. And they have been really integral to my journey as a streamer.
I love that. I love that so much because like I okay, I feel the same thing because I when I first started streaming, I barely had anybody that I knew, And within the first couple of weeks, I found kind of a groove of some people that I followed and then kept watching and like kind of became friends with. So like the reason why I came to Twitch was because of a YouTube series I found on YouTube of Animal Crossing New Leaf,
Mm.
and it
Hmm.
was Simply Press Start. She would play this whole town, and when she was done with the town, she announced that she was completely done. And I was
Hmm.
so heartbroken that she was done with this town and that she wasn't going to be posting any more Animal Crossing New Leaf content. Like she was saying that she was kind of done with it and she was going to do something else. And then I saw that it had ended like a year ago, and I was like, "Oh my god, seriously? Like this ended forever ago. Like why am I so sad that this had ended even though it ended forever ago?" Turned out that she switched her content over to Twitch, and that's how I found
Oh, I
Twitch.
love that.
And
I love
so
that.
exactly. And then I thought that she was going to be doing her town because she was starting a new Leaf town, and she was going to do
Hmm.
it solely on Twitch. And I thought she was going to do it only on Twitch. Turns out she was doing it on Twitch and YouTube, and she was like posting her
Oh,
VODs on YouTube, but I had no
yeah, yeah.
idea. But then that's how I
Okay.
found Twitch, and then I found a
Oh
bunch
my
of
gosh.
creators, and like I
Yeah.
kind of grew from that, and now here I am playing New Horizons as well as like Andrew saying in here with Dead by Daylight. I'm playing all sorts
Right.
of games and streaming, so I don't think I would be on Twitch if I hadn't found Simply Press Start first.
That's amazing. I
Hmm.
love that. I love that. I love hearing everyone's lore. I love it.
Right, seeing where they started and all that.
Hmm.
I love
Yeah.
it. And the last question that we have here is from Battleline Strawberry. What's your favorite thing you've ever done on stream?
Hmm. Favorite thing ever done on stream? Um, you know what? I think my I've done a lot of really fun stuff on stream. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of moments where I've like dyed my hair and stuff, and that's been great.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like my favorite thing that I've ever done, like it was a moment where like one of those like leap of faith moments where I had been playing um a lot of Animal Crossing, and then I, switched to Stardew, and I was sort of in this like, you know, in this, I don't want to call it a rut because I enjoyed it genuinely, but I was in this place where I was like, if I go outside of this like niche, people aren't going to like me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
People are coming for the cozy farming content. People, they're not coming for me. Like that was sort of like my internal monologue, which, again, we sort of talked about that. But like when I was like, you know what? No, no, I'm going to play this game called Hades. And that was a turning point for me. That was a turning point for me, not only because I met some amazing people. Oso,
Mm-hmm.
who's in chat, I met them through when I was playing Hades, and now they are one of my mods. And just like I've met so many amazing people through that. But it was like a moment where I was like, okay, I'm gonna play this fighting game. It's a game that I've never played a game like this before, let alone streamed a game like this before.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a fucking blast. I've met so
Yes.
many cool people through it. It just really was a moment where I was like, sort of like tapping at the ice, and like all of a sudden it broke, and like I broke through and like found, and it was like, I felt like my streaming world got so much bigger after that. And it's sort of like I was like, I like the room that I'm in. I don't I like it here. I'm safe here. And then I was like, but now I'm in like, I couldn't have even imagined how amazing it could be once I went beyond it. And we did. And now, you know it empowered me to like play like other horror games. Like I've been
Mm-hmm.
doing Resident Evil, and we do a crossword puzzle every week, like just random shit, and like we have a blast. And I feel like that was a moment where I learned, like, and it left a huge impression on me that it's like it pays off to take risks and to go
Mm-hmm.
outside of your comfort zone and to
Mm-hmm.
fight against being stagnant.
Yes.
Hmm.
I've kind of done the same thing with like because I started doing tarot streams. Uh,
That's so cool.
I've been doing them like I started doing them and then I told myself that I wouldn't do them when I'm not feeling 100% or not even like I wasn't even at 50%. So I wasn't even going to touch them. Um and I started doing them again this last Tuesday and it felt so good to start doing them again. I love doing the tarot readings and um it's just it's so fun to like kind of learn that and find something new, and I still have people coming in and hanging out with me, and it's just kind of cool to think of people still just wanting to hang out even though it's not your normal Stardew
Right.
cozy or
Right,
Animal
right,
Crossing
right.
cozy,
Yeah.
or even
Yeah.
switching to Dead by Daylight because I've
Hmm.
been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight in the last
Yeah.
few months.
That's awesome. Yeah. Dibba.
Dibida, yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
yep, that's how I call it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it so
That's
much.
awesome. That's awesome. Thank you everyone for these amazing questions.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
there were such great questions. There's some really like hard hitting questions too. I just
Absolutely.
made us
Absolutely.
really think about it.
Yes.
But I
Had
do
to
want to say,
bully,
oh
but we
yeah,
got some questions. This is the bullying works. That's the moral of this entire podcast. Bullying works.
I love it.
I'm just kidding.
Thank you so much for being on this podcast with me, though. I really appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
It's been an honor, it's been a pleasure, it's been a delight.
I loved hearing like everything that you had to say about imposter syndrome. I just kind of have to like keep agreeing with you because it's this essentially the same process that I've gone through, and I just it's
Mhm.
very, like I said, validating to hear
Yeah,
other people's
we don't have to do
stories.
it alone. We don't have to do it
No,
alone.
never have to do it alone. But
Mhm.
thank you again for being on here. Thanks for talking with me
Mm,
and taking a chance in this. Like, I really
of
appreciate it.
course. Of
Thank
course.
you, everybody in the Twitch chat, for hanging out as well. But thank you guys again so much for being here. Thank you for talking about imposter syndrome and your journey through content creating. And yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Thank you so much for having me on. I can't tell you how much it means.
Yes. All right. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.